With SpaceX filing for their IPO yesterday, you have very little time to allocate your money to take advantage of this public offering. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to position yourself for SpaceX, OpenAI, and other AI companies that are going to go public later this year. So first and foremost, I'd like to talk about SpaceX because that's the newest revelation in investing, that they're going to go public. A few ways that I plan to make money and sort of position myself for this IPO are through aerospace ETFs like ORBX, UFO, Rockets, and ARCX. Now, my favorite of these that I've mentioned is ARCX, simply because it's actively managed, and I think Kathy Wood will move very quick on this to allocate some of their capital to SpaceX shares. Another ETF that I really like is the NASA ETF. They actually own 15% of SpaceX. Kind of a no-brainer here. Definitely allocate a little bit of money into that ETF, just so, if everything goes as planned with this IPO, and it's the biggest IPO in history, and stock price just goes nuts, you have a decent amount of exposure to that. If you're looking for something a little less risky than aerospace ETFs or buying actual SpaceX stock, then I would look no further than VTI. VTI will fast track this stock and pick it up probably the week after it IPOs. And I think now is a good time to, start looking at VTI. VTI is a little high right now, but it could be worth picking up in the coming months leading up to this IPO. Another play that I'd like to talk about regarding the SpaceX and the OpenAI IPOs is Hype. Now, what is Hype? Hype is a crypto token. Okay, now before you click off this video, hear me out. Hype is the Hyperliquid token. And Hyperliquid is an exchange where you can trade derivatives like crypto perps, or now you can actually trade pre-IPO derivatives, for example, on SpaceX or OpenAI. And this gives people earlier exposure to IPOs than ever before. And because of that, and because of the massive hype around SpaceX, OpenAI, Anthropic, all of these major IPOs that are anticipated for this year, I think a lot of volume is going to go on Hyperliquid, which will therefore drive up the price of Hype, their token. And you're already seeing this right now. The token is up, I believe, 90% in the last 3 months or so. And this week it's gone up another 30-40% with the news of SpaceX filing for their IPO. So obviously it's kind of high per token. I was getting in around $38-40 a token. You might not get in at that price anytime soon, but it's something to keep an eye on, and potentially, you could 5-10x your money on this play, in all honesty, depending on how things go with Hype. And again, this isn't financial advice. This is just what I see happening in the market, and I'm no financial advisor. Now to talk about OpenAI. OpenAI is going to be a massive IPO as well. It won't be as big as SpaceX, but I think OpenAI gives you safer opportunities to get your money in while also still giving you good potential for crazy return on them. Let me explain what I mean by this. Companies like Microsoft, Nvidia, Oracle, they have deals where they either benefit from OpenAI making money or they actually own part of the company. These three in particular, I think, are no-brainers to pick up right now, especially Oracle. Oracle is, it's had a lot of turmoil recently in the stock price, and I think you can get in at a good price right now. It's just my personal opinion. But all three of these companies will appreciate in value regardless of how OpenAI does. That is my firm belief. I think in 5 years' time, they will be worth more money than they are now. But when you factor in OpenAI IPO, they have stake or at least a deal with them that is significant. Like, for example, I believe the deal Oracle has with OpenAI is like half of their backlog right now. That's huge. And if OpenAI has a good IPO, Oracle will directly benefit, and it will reflect in their stock price. So I think these are some equities that are worth, at least looking into, if not no-brainer purchases, just because the track record of, say, Google or Nvidia recently has been unreal, and Oracle has performed pretty well also. On top of that, if you just want like a risky, potentially already priced in play where you could get burnt on this, but you could also like double or triple your money, RVI and BCX are two funds that they're private funds. They privately invested in OpenAI, and BCX also privately invested in Anthropic, and I believe SpaceX as well. So you're getting a lot of like private equity exposure there with that fund. Anywho, these are plays that I said it, they're risky, but it's just something else that you could throw a small amount of capital into and potentially make a lot of money off of them. These are equities that I'll be looking at over the next couple weeks to couple months, just trying to position myself for these IPOs. I don't know if I'm going to be buying direct IPO shares of any of these companies, simply because we don't know enough about SpaceX, we don't know enough about OpenAI, we don't know enough about Anthropic, we don't know enough about the actual financials of these companies and what they're going to evaluate themselves at to make those decisions right now, in my personal opinion. But what you can do is you can start to allocate capital into these other plays. I think that you're running out of time to do this because more and more people are going to become aware of this. A lot of this stuff, the IPOs have already been priced in to a degree. I think there's still small margins where you could catch a dip, buy in at a good price, and potentially make money off of it. So just something to follow, something to think about. Let me know your comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.